welcome back to another episode. My name is Amy Lloyd from Essential Wellness, and I am here with my good friend and colleague, Shanon Dawn.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all again. Thank you, Amy. So today we're talking about emotional trauma, and the definition right off the bat is something that has damaged your psyche, creating a lot of fright and could leave you feeling in ways that you don't know how to cope. We have fight, we have flight, and we have freeze, which are responses in ways that we deal with the situation. So we are never sure how we're going to react, but what is extremely important to note is when we're trying to get past these situations, we want to refrain from repeating the story continuously in the future. So the number one step is go get therapy, obviously have some help, and release the story, feel safe again. But in the future, sometimes we tend to talk about something over and over again, and that's not helping us. So Amy will explain some strategies on how we can refrain from doing it.
Yeah, there is a great concept borrowed from somatic experiencing called titration. And if you've ever gone to like the beach or a pool and the water is freezing cold, you might get in like a little bit and then ankle deep and then knee deep and so on, right? You very slowly get into the water as you adjust to it. And so when we dive into our trauma stories and we become just obsessed about them, and it's all we can think about, it's all we want to talk about, even if we're sick of it ourselves, even if we're sick of thinking about it and talking about it, that's the only thing our brain seems to know how to do anymore. And what is happening is that we are re-traumatizing our nervous system because our nervous system and our brain has no concept of time. So professional athletes will actually use that fact to practice their plays through visualization exercises. And so it's really cool. Even off the field, they can just close their eyes and picture play by play by play, and it actually increases their muscle memory. So when it comes to our trauma stories, that's not a good thing. So how do we interrupt that process? So exactly. You go there, you're going to go there, your head's going to take you there, and that's okay. So recognize it. Oh, I'm doing it again. And ask yourself a question about the present. What is the weather like? What did I have for breakfast this morning? And then your head's going to go back into the story. And when you catch it happening again, ask yourself another presencing question. What is something in my room right now that I like? What, like a decor or something that I like? And anytime you catch yourself going back into the past and reliving that, ask yourself some sort of presencing question. And what that does is retrain our nervous system over time. It's important to keep doing it so that over time, your system recognizes, okay, I am here and now, I am in the present. Yes, I have this memory, but I am here right now and I am safe. So Shanon and I are going to do a quick demonstration of what that might look like.
Right. Thank you, Amy.
Yes. So Shanon, I want you to talk just a little bit about, we're not going to dive into some crazy trauma story, but something that's just an annoyance for you.
Yeah. I think when I'm having conversations with someone important, I find it extraordinarily disheartening if they do not feel the same intensity or pay attention to what it is that I'm trying to convey.
Yeah. I think we all find that super annoying. Can you think of a past event, like a particular story, and share a little piece of it with us?
I think when I want to see something, a dynamic change between the two of us, someone and myself, you know, because I feel like it'll better the relationship ultimately, right? And it is scary. Let's face it. It's scary to have these conversations. It could be your mother, it could be your cousin, it could be your boyfriend, it could be anybody. But when you're having these conversations, you know there's an elephant in the room aspect, and you're just wanting to fix it. You know, it's already a little bit nerve-wracking to have the conversation, and then to have them, you know, maybe disrespect the story or not listen to it or not even see eye to eye on it. And you can feel it slipping away, the dynamic between the two of you. That's something I've experienced. That's where I've gone with several people that were important to me in my life. And I'll be honest, it doesn't always work out. Sometimes they've left my life.
Mm-hmm. So back then, when one of those examples happened, how did you respond at the time?
I responded with wanting to have clarification.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them to understand me. I wanted to understand them. But unfortunately, not everybody wants to, have those deep conversations.
Right. And so how would you say that you respond when those things happen today?
So what I've learned is to gauge things a little better. Am I overanalyzing? Am I overthinking? Is it my past traumas that are creating a projection into this? Am I judging them harshly or something? Because I think this kind of thing happened to me before, so now maybe it's happening again. You know what? It's really about finesse. Just kind of taking yourself back, journaling it out, go for a walk, talk to a therapist, a life coach, whoever, and get it out of your system. See if you can find another way to look at it. So that's what I do. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes I don't say anything at all. Mm-hmm. Like I literally will just, rethink my reactions or the way I need to be in the situation with that person to keep the harmony. If it's something serious, though, I will still have that conversation. And, I just bite the bullet, see what happens.
So when you today choose to not say anything at all, if you go back and think of some of those past examples, is that something you sometimes did back then too?
There are definite times, yes, when I do not say something to somebody, yes. Yeah. But I wasn't satisfied with that.
Right. And so you did that behavior then, but you were not satisfied with it. But today you do that behavior, but you're more satisfied with it.
I think because, in the past I wasn't, it was like a forced behavior to keep the peace or to keep them happy. Now it's more about, it is similar, but it's about keeping myself happy. Right. Is this really important enough for me to bring forth? Or can I just analyze it differently? The distinction on that, does that make sense?
That really makes sense. You're talking about a lot of growth there because you're referring to taking a more objective perspective and also honoring yourself and what you need in the situation.
Right.
So I wonder, how would you hope you deal with it in the future?
Yep. I think we're all learning as we go, right? And as I traverse life and myself and learn I don't know, I'm going to figure things out along the way, but whatever formulas come out, hopefully they're better. But sometimes we are at the best state that we can be at, and it's just a matter of forgiveness. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of just, allowing people, we don't know what's going on in someone else's life or their head or whatever. They could be dealing with 10 major things, who knows, right? And so their reactions to us, we sometimes we just got to take a step back,
right?
Just relax, let them have their space, whatever that is. And or if you need to have a deeper conversation, just be really cognizant of what you're saying, how you're saying it to that person, and be sensitive, because sometimes we don't know what their limits are. Yeah. And it could be the last conversation you have with them if you're not careful.
That was such a great example. Thank you for sharing that, because you really illustrated the growth that you experienced in that story. And so I just wanted to point out to our audience what we did there with that little super short demonstration is, in the conversation, started in the past, moved to the present, back to the past, back to the present, and then even into the future. And so that is helping to retrain Shannon's nervous system to know that it's okay to revisit memories in the past, because I am living here and now in the present and I am safe.
Yes.
And exactly. Shannon, we also had a few other coping strategies to share with people, because there are going to be times that we become triggered. And so how do you help yourself when you're in the middle of the fight or the flight or the freeze?
Right. Well, sometimes if we can remember to do these things, maybe make a little list for yourself to go to, because we might be too foggy brain to remember in the moment. Go hold an ice pack or an ice cube. Hold it in your hands. That kind of shock of the cold will help, refocus, reset our thinking. Put your feet in ice cold water, splash your face, wet your hair, whatever, with the coldest water you can find, because that is a little bit of a redirection. I would also say journaling, and when you journal, I'm going to advise, that you journal as raw as you possibly can. If you swear, then journal with swear words. If you're feeling, really vulgar, whatever that is, deep, go for it. Because at the end of the day, that's how you get the truth out. Mm-hmm. Now you can forgive, if you've made some really crazy comments, forgive yourself, forgive that, whatever, after, right? You could rip that page up, let it go, right? In peace. But the point is to get it out properly. I feel like the more strongly write, because if you write with pleasantries and just politeness and it's not really it's not going to work.
Right.
That's my philosophy anyways.
Yeah.
Do we have any others, Amy?
One I would love to share is something called orientation that was really helpful for me. And it is if you stop everything and turn your head and look back over one shoulder as far as your head can turn, and very slowly name to yourself what you see. I see the wall, the painting, the closet door, the ceiling, the floor, and just very slowly move across the room until you're then looking back over the other shoulder as far as you can turn your head, slowly naming what you see the whole time. And the cool thing about this is it is a throwback from like our caveman days when we were on the savannah scanning for predators, right? And when you scan slowly, it tells your nervous system everything is calm and safe. Because if you saw the lion on the savannah, so to speak, you would be freaking out. You wouldn't be doing anything slowly. You would be very rapid, right? And so it's a good reminder. And also, if anyone ever finds that they like to go for a drive when they're upset, that is why. Because when you're driving, you are doing a little bit of scanning.
Oh, see, that's interesting. Yeah. Very good.
That explained a lot. I love to go for drives when I'm upset. I go for many hour-long drives when I'm upset, and that's why. Yeah.
And I agree with that. I would also say music can be very cathartic. It helps whatever kind of genre you like, right? Mm-hmm. So find those things. There's also trauma yoga, right? There's art. Anything you can find to help soothe yourself out of those moments when you're looping and remembering things, and a good cry also.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Just let it out. But while you're crying, I would say listen to your heart. Mm-hmm. Really, what is your heart trying to tell you? What are those tears? What do they mean? Are they, maybe even this, just love yourself through that, right? Like the biggest piece is to love yourself because it's a scary place. If you're getting really caught up in yourself, you just want to calm down with, it's okay. I'm going to be fine. This is a moment, but it's not forever. Right.
And I would just like to add to that, because it really helped me when I learned that crying is a release. So when we cry, it's our system's way of saying there's something it's ready to let go of. And that's part of the process of letting go is through the tears. And just to take that one tiny step further, lemongrass oil. So if you ever get into, oh my goodness, what's the smell? I lost my words. Anyway, lemongrass oil is really aromatherapy. That's the word I was looking for. Is really good for helping the letting go process. And so pick up some lemongrass oil, put it in a diffuser, rub it on your wrist or whatever, or on your hands, and inhale it, sprinkle it throughout your house. I love to mix just a few drops into water and dampen a washcloth and just like dust with that damp cloth with the lemongrass oil on it. makes the whole house smell amazing. And then that oil is infusing my body with that power of letting go whatever my system is ready to let go of.
Right. Wow, that's fantastic. I was even thinking you could put a couple drops in your bath water or in your laundry.
Yes.
Right.
And then you sit in that aromatic bathtub and just cry and let go of all of the crap.
Right. And maybe even a little bit of Epsom salts.
Yes.
Right. That would help as well. I mean, we all need to release, we all need to figure this out through other people, through ourselves. We're all going to go through things at different times in our lives, different stages. But the goal is to just make sure that you continuously have self-care and just know that you're able to go through this if you prepare in your good times, in your happy moments, kind of have a little bit of a preparedness for these moments, you know, like write down some of the tools and strategies that you could do if you find yourself going a little bit on the deep end of thoughts, right?
Exactly. Well, this has been a powerful conversation, Shannon. We did some demonstration and shared tons of coping strategies. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you too, Amy. You're a fabulous lady. I'm so glad we get to do videos together. And thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.